All aboard and welcome to our podcast, Goddessships. Tonight's topic, repeat ships. Are we stuck or what? For those of you who are returning, thank you for your continued support and welcome back. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. And we hope to see you again. Goddesses and gods, please remember that we are also available wherever you listen to your podcasts, including Spotify and iHeartRadio. And you can always watch our Tonight My Avatar, their handsome and beautiful faces on YouTube. I am Keely, the Soul Snatching Goddess.
And I am Melinda, the Fact Goddess, FACKT. And we want to thank you for joining our podcast tonight. We want you to like, share, and subscribe, and bang on the notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified when we have new episodes.
Hello, world. I'm Floyd God. What's up with the avatar?
So I had taken my hair down. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. So I have my two Sealy braids in tonight, and I shall not
play to see her.
Why you want everybody to see me?
Girl, they don't care about your two braids.
Nobody care about all that, you know.
The lies y'all tell, baby.
No, I'm just saying.
What you saying?
It's your natural self.
Yeah, okay. Let me be natural in my natural habitat when I want to do my hair naturally. But that right there that I got going on right now.
So you gonna let this show treat you like a waiter at your own goddamn table?
I damn sure am. Yep. I'm gonna set my ass down and shut my ass up.
I got a cap on, so you know my hair long now, so I had to slick it down. I'll show you right quick.
What? But that's your by choice, and you're a male, and they'll still call you Zaddy at the end of the night.
Flatty.
I am not about to do it.
I'm saying, but it's natural.
Yeah, it's very natural. And when it was natural the other day, when I had my little poof going on and I had my little mini fro, that was because that's how I tapered my hair to be. And I was very comfortable with all of my naturalness and all of it going wherever it felt like flowing for the day. But today,
I'm just saying, because our theme is all ships matter and all ships aren't the same, and we try to be transparent here, I think it just would add to the transparency of the show. If you just show who you really are, it would be a powerful statement.
We're gonna let Fat Goddess handle the naturalness of it all with her natural locks. There you go. Slang it again, girl. Ew.
You just passed that real quick. That was smooth. So you said you look like you finna shave this? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I look like I'm about to.
Yeah. Oh, she do.
Yes. Exactly.
That's okay though.
She saw it.
That's okay though.
That's a great analogy. Oh my God. That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Y'all can keep buying for that all y'all want to, but I ain't going.
All right, then.
All right. Anybody got shirt cam tonight?
No.
Just taco meat.
Just taco meat. Well,
you have a shirt cam, but we can't see you.
It says limited edition.
Girl, we can't see that.
Oh,
it's obviously a limited edition. We can't see it.
Oh, you know what? I got one for y'all though, because y'all think I ain't slick around this piece. Don't think. Limited edition.
Girl, show your head.
Might as well just sit down, just keep the camera on.
Show your head.
Hey, I knows how to do what I do when I do what I does, okay?
Oh,
you won't get me. You gonna catch the kids slipping. Not the kids.
I just got the color purple thing going in my head now because I thought about this thing.
That's
when Suge was running to the house, and he was like, see, oh yeah. Remember that?
Yeah. That's exactly what it's giving.
I don't believe that, but carry on.
You gotta believe. I'll show you after the show, but I ain't gonna show you on it.
All right.
Anyway, so I know for me, I started seeing the Minister Louis Farrakhan clip that people have titled "Speaking to the Gangbangers." Oh, we got somebody back in the house tonight. Lele back in the house. Girl, you been missing that action, baby. They was asking about you, girl. We glad to have you back. Yay. So, they have titled it "Speaking to the Gangbangers." I started seeing it after the death of PNB Rock on September the 12th. Fat Goddess says she has seen it before then. Do you remember when you saw it?
No, but it makes sense now since we know how far back it's gone. That's why I was like, I can't really tell you when.
Yeah, that's been a while because the minister, he don't even look like, he looked like that, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So, in true social media fashion, so when I started looking for it, the furthest back, because I couldn't even find the original clip. The clip is from 2007. So I couldn't even find the original scene, like the whole thing of where it came from to know how long it was. The second one that I found that was a little bit longer was probably in like 2015. But in true fashion, like I said, of social media today, they took that clip, even that 5-minute clip, and busted down to a minute. And so I'm gonna try to play it. Hopefully, I can get it to play. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. We'll see. Y'all let me know if y'all can or cannot. All right, let's see.
I want to talk to my gangbanging family. You make it very difficult for me. Go ahead, say that. In the 60s, we knew who the enemy was. But in 2007, you're the enemy. It's black people killing black people. Black people robbing black people. Black people raping black people. I'm talking to you, and I cannot call for retaliation in matters of the slain when you have become the number one slayers of yourself and your own people. But this murder that is going on in our own community makes it difficult for me to make the right and necessary call for your justice.
That is it. Were y'all able to hear the whole thing? Okay. So again, like I said, it was from 2007. It resurfaced in 2015, 2019, 2021, and now in 2022. And so the reason that I kind of felt like, or we kind of felt like this should be called Repeatships, is it's 15 years later, and that message still rings true today. Like, are we stuck in a cycle of violence, or what? Like, what are we doing wrong? Where something that is as prevalent as that can be played today and still have the same exact meaning behind it, because ain't nothing changed.
Well, I'm gonna let you ladies go right ahead, and ladies first, because when I say what I got to say, I'm gonna be a bit long-winded.
Okay.
Oh, you go ahead.
You want to go first, Fat Goddess?
I just ditto what he said. Like, how can we fight for us, or representatives like him fight for us when we're killing us? It doesn't make it right, but it definitely makes other races feel like, hell, they don't care about each other. So what does it matter who's taking them out? And it especially happens with, I think, with law enforcement, because they like, y'all killing each other. So what difference does it make? So I mean, I just agree with everything that he said. And you said the first year was 2007.
That's when it was done, I believe.
Uh-huh. So, like you said, 15 years later, we still got the same narrative, but it's probably worse, I would say, because I know we were speaking the other day on how back in the day, like if you were in junior high, high school, it was fist fights. But these kids carry guns and pop guns now, like I mean, they shoot real guns like they shooting BB guns at each other. And it's like, really? Some of the stuff is just a matter of probably even a healthy debate. And y'all out here trying to kill each other.
Well, that's the problem. They don't know how to debate. They don't know how to speak. They don't have impulse control. It's just everything is a now, and a me, and not a us, and devaluing of life. So, if you don't care or value life, then you don't care about taking one.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just like the way that kids nowadays explode for the smallest things, where and we don't, and you see it on social media all the time. The little kid, they just mad and angry and they want to punch and fight, and instead of having corrective action of making their words to express themselves, they allow that to be what the narrative is, and then they turn into grown kids that don't know how to use their words, and they're angry and they punch and fight or shoot. I know I was saying about P&B and his murder being a part of stuff when I first started seeing things around. And after his, somebody posted, and it's their tag is the kid Gowie, and they said Dolph was getting cookies for his mama. P&B Rock was eating with his girl. Nipsey was on his turf. Pop Smoke was in the shower. This shit pains me. Everyone talks about not lacking, but you literally can't let your guard down under any circumstance. That's survival, not living, which is sad. Very, very sad. Another part of that narrative was they was talking about how when the girl posted that they were at the place eating, and that was part of why they were able to locate them. But like, can you not show where you are, or you gotta wait 3 hours to post
So
where they?
I wanna I wanna interject and speak on that
Uh-huh.
because I spoke to a couple of people that are native Californians, if that's what you call them. And they were saying that that particular Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle
Mm-hmm.
is known for a spot that you need to tread lightly, and it's been like that since like the 80s. So even though they're um making the narrative that she shouldn't have posted where they were, from what the people that are natives of California were telling me, that wouldn't have mattered either way. It just was a coincidence that she posted where they were and something happened to them. It was kind of like you can't go into gang territory flexing because something could possibly happen to you. So,
Well, is going to eat with your girl flexing though?
well, what I'm saying is you have to know the environment. Like, and that's a spot where you don't pull up in the vehicle you in or with the chains you wearing. And there's also some clips of him, I guess, going back and forth with somebody that's in the area. So it was like something was going on anyway, it sounds like. And it's a possibility that that spot is just where it was ended, whatever that thing was that was already going on. So it's kind of like when we were talking before. I don't know if we were talking on here or just talking to each other, but like when I went to Atlanta and went to Mechanicsville.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a similar situation. That area is known for you got to tread lightly if you're not from here, if you know, are flashy or, anything
Well, I think
extra, you have to tread lightly at that particular Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
well, I know from what I've heard, it was more that they were coming to rob him and kill him, not that it was some type of beef that was going on. That's what I've heard. Um, but then I
Well,
know that
I saw some footage of him talking to somebody and them telling him that they on your head, they on your top. So that's why I said I think there was more going on than what's on the surface.
No.
okay. Who knows? I don't know. Because again, I watch, but nobody knows but the people who did it and the person that ain't here no more.
Yeah, but I ain't from California, so I just was putting that tidbit in because they're like nobody from California is surprised.
But that's the sad thing.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a good thing. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that you're saying it was a good thing. I'm just saying like that's still like that narrative is horrible.
Yeah.
That it's looked as to be a oh well type thing.
Yeah. But you also have to think about the culture because gang life is very serious in California in comparison to other places.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a joke. You said what?
Gang life serious everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
He said gang life is serious everywhere.
I mean, it depends upon where it is to me because some people say they're about that life and they don't do nearly the things that they do in other cities. I'm not saying California is the only place, but it's definitely more serious there than it is other places.
I would have to disagree.
That's fine.
So Fat Joe was being interviewed on Hell of a Week.
Oh Lord.
And he said that that rappers are an endangered species when he was speaking on the death of PNB Rock. And then he said that he used to rob. And he was like, but at the end of the day, why should we kill each other? And he was like, and so he said, I used to stick up people. I used to rob people. The people kind of started laughing. And he was like, it's not funny. He's like, I'm not against them robbing him. You caught him, rob him. But why you got to kill him? And that's the part that bothers me. Not only did you destroy that family, but the other families that were sitting in Roscoe's and they see you blow this man's brains out.
Wait.
Just wait my turn. Just wait my turn.
So it was, and then he said you destroy a whole village with one shot. So it's kind of like.
So Rob don't kill?
That's what he said. This
Wow.
is what on national TV is what this man said.
Oh my God.
And so, it was so jarring because when he said, you know, I used to stick people up. I used to rob people. And so the people were like, you know, okay. But then when he said, I'm not against them robbing him, you called him robbing. And they started laughing because they was like, dang. And he was like, it's serious, people. It's not a joke.
He's an idiot.
I was like, oh. Well, okay.
So that was his perspective of what happened.
His perspective was he used to rob back in the day. If you rob him, but you don't have to kill him. He was like, because you not only destroyed that family, but all the other families that were in Roscoe's that see someone's brain being blown out in front of them. You destroyed a whole village with one shot.
Wow. I'm not going to even entertain that.
Just wait my turn.
Well, it's your turn. Come on with it.
First and foremost, I just want to say Fat Joe is a fucking idiot. That's my first point. My second point is, you know, oh God. I'm trying not to cuss a lot. Regardless of where you're from, the bottom line of these situations, like with the young man who just got robbed and killed, it's kind of like there's been like something floating on social media from like so-called OGs and stuff like that. Regardless if you're from Chicago, LA, Texas, New York, any big city, any small town, we live in a different type of world now. You know, COVID has passed. People are struggling. People are hungry. People are starving. People are thirsty. If you put yourself out there, quote unquote, flexing, you're putting yourself out there to get robbed. It's the bottom line. It's just like the Pop Smoke kid, the rapper or whatever what he is. He put his address on. Somebody came for him. It's always going to be somebody looking for a lick. It's always going to be somebody looking for the come up. Whether you think it's morally right or wrong, that's the culture. That's the world we live in now. It's not even about culture. It's the world we live in. So if you outside and you got $10,000, $20,000 worth of jewelry on, and then you drop your location, somebody gonna try you. Period. Whether we like it or not, whether we think it's right or wrong, this is the world we live in. Now, how we can stop it, you know, what we can do about it, that's a conversation I'm sure we will get into through the course of the show. But that's the world we live in right now. So rappers are targets because what do? They flex. So it's cats out here that's like, yo, I can go pull up on this goofy ass nigga right here and get this 20, 30,000 off him. And that's it. Now where the killing come in at, okay, so I'm just gonna say it like this. If somebody come and rob you and they got a mask on, you might make it. If somebody come rob you and they don't have a mask on, you're not gonna make it. It used to be, and I know that sound weird, like it's a certain type of code or whatever, but
no, it makes sense.
These days, it ain't really no rules to the game no more. It's just everybody trying to get theirs. So you supposed to be smart in how you move. You shouldn't be out here with $20,000, whatever worth of jewelry on if you know you gonna be out here in these streets. If you so-called rappers who say y'all used to be gangsters, if y'all was real gangsters, you ain't about to be out here with all that shit on anyway because you come from that lifestyle. So you say. But 90% of these rap niggas ain't real street niggas. That's another point I'm gonna make. Number two, if you gonna be out here with that type of stuff on, invest in you some security. If you just feel the need to flex like that. In a world where we have sharks and people out here who gonna get you, period. So that's my take on that part. As far as the PNB Rock dude, he had a gang of jewelry on. His girl dropped his location. People saw it on social media. The thirsty cats saw it. They came for him. That's all that happened. That's it. Why do people feel indifferent about it? Because we live in a world of indifference. Because we watch social media where pictures of violence, videos of bloodshed are played before you every single second of the day. So you have become desensitized. That's what has happened. Let's go back to the conversations we had before. Now, I didn't want to go into this part yet, but I'm going to go there anyway. I thought it'd be a little long-winded. I'm going to try to keep it short, though.
You good.
Let me just take you on a history lesson real quick. So back to what the Honorable Minister said about speaking to the gangbangers and how they're killing each other and stuff. Let me take you on a history lesson real quick. Now, I'm from Chicago. I can't speak too much on West Coast gangs. I know enough about West Coast gang culture, but I'm not fluent in it like I am where I'm from. But I know a bit about it. So I'm gonna speak on my city because that's where everything kind of came from any damn way, no matter what they want to say or not, you know. But anyway, so in the 50s and 60s, there was an organization that was created called the Black Peace Stone Rangers. And their principles was love, truth, justice, peace, and freedom. That sounds great, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sound great, don't it? Sound like great. They were about the upliftment of Black people, right? Then at some point it came the devil's disciples. They were about power over oppression. They were about lifting their people up against the oppression of the Caucasoid people who was trying to oppress them. That was a quote-unquote gang. These were organizations. Then there was the Vice Lords, an offshoot of the Black Peace Stone Rangers. They to give advice, right? You know, so, and you heard things like dedication, determination, discipline, love, truth, justice, peace, and freedom. wisdom, knowledge, understanding. These are things that were taught. And you had these brothers and these sisters in these organizations in the city of Chicago that were trying to do things for the Black community, trying to uplift the Black community. At the same time that you had Black Panthers in Chicago, when Fred Hampton was out there, Mark Clark, and all these brothers was out here, we had these organizations. The Conservative Vice Lord organization was an organization that was about uplifting Black people at the time. And then what happened? The federal government introduced heroin in the game and infested the Black community with heroin. And then the crack cocaine came with what we know now as the ATF and the CIA, giving what we know now as crack cocaine to Ricky Ross, and infesting these neighborhoods with crack cocaine on the West Coast. And then it flooded to the East Coast and everywhere else. And what does that do when people on drugs and you create a condition of need, or you create this material conditioning? Then people gonna fight amongst themselves. So then fast forward to today, what you see on TV all the time. I gotta have this. I gotta have this material item. I gotta do this. We turn rap music to where these kids, all they see is guns, killing, shooting, buy this, buy that. I need to have this. So they mind, it ain't no knowledge itself. So I gotta get it by any means necessary. You got kids coming from middle-class families talking about they gangsters. We went from community activism and progress to killing each other. The CRIP organization from the West Coast stood for Community Revolution and Progress. The Blood organization from the West Coast stood for brotherly love, overcomes and overrides destruction. All of these organizations, so-called gangs, started in effect to uplift Black people from out of a less than ideal condition. And the influence of the oppressor changed the game, changed the narrative. There's even a situation where two of the largest leaders of two of the largest gangs in Chicago, the United States government created a program. It was called the Woodlawn Project. You can go look it up. Where these brothers were supposed to be teaching people how to read and doing things for the community. And on the other side of it, they was doing all type of shifty shit, trying to change the narrative in the Black community. So there's a deeper thing going on here, is what I'm saying. There's been a conditioning, there's been a programming, and now we're seeing the realities of that. You got to remember, the crack babies is how old now? How old are the crack babies? The crack babies are what, 85, 87? The crack babies 30 years old now, and they done had babies. Those psychological effects that have happened to these kids, crackheads having babies, what you think the babies like? The people that was on heroin in the 70s, they got strung out to have babies. Now they got pills and everything else out here. Then on top of drugs, then you got the red line in the neighborhoods, gentrification in the neighborhoods. You still got oppression and racism going on. On top of that, you got TV every day telling you that you nothing because you Black, telling you don't look like nothing. When it was a time when we was proud of being who we are. Now we got sisters getting BBLs, when back in the day it was white girls trying to look Black. Now it's Black girls out here trying to do what the fuck is going on with that shit? You understand? It's been a total reversal. Like there's a program in place to destroy our people. We know this. So what we're seeing today with these brothers killing each other, sisters and brothers killing each other, the conflicts and the problems that we have in our community, this is the fruits of the labor of the oppressor. So what can we do about it? Well, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say we need to re-educate each other. We need to take care of each other. We need to look out for each other. We need to stand up for our communities. How do we do that? In order for us to do that, we got to teach our children and each other knowledge of self, to have a sense of self. We have to regain our self-worth, because we got kids out here who don't even think they're going to make it past 21.
Yeah.
There's been many children out in Chicago when I was cutting hair. How many of them young boys used to tell me, shit, I'm going to do my thing because I ain't going to make it to 21. Fuck it, I'm about to do my thing.
Yeah, and it's a lot of Black boys I've heard say that, or if they make it, once they make it to 21, they like, oh my God, I ain't think I was going to be here. This is amazing. And I'm like, at 21 though?
Let me tell you, I ain't never been nobody to tell. I used to gang bang. I used to do all that goofy shit. But I did it by choice. Because I didn't come from no, I ain't gonna sit here and lie like, my mama was struggling, god damn it, and we had to, mama made rent when the rent was due. I ain't one of them motherfuckers. My mama worked a good ass job. She took care of us. She was a single mother. She sent us to the best schools. I made the choice to do what the fuck I wanted to do. I was in the street. That was my choice. But in my mind, I knew, because of where I came from, I knew that even though I was gang banging, selling drugs, doing all of that shit, I knew that there was an end game to this. I knew this was not going to be my life. Now, why did I know that? Because I had knowledge of myself from how I was taught. But everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have a strong mama. Everybody don't have a strong father. Everybody don't have a strong community. But I was just lucky enough to be around people that really gave a damn about me. So even though I was doing knucklehead shit, in the back of my mind, I was like, nah, I know better. So when I got older and all the young cats that was in the gang I was in and other gangs, I tried to talk to them. I mentored them. I tried to be there for them because I understood. It started with us. I stopped many of problems in my neighborhood growing, coming up. But I'm just one person. You just one person. You just one person. So,
well, it starts with one,
right?
So this is my other question, though, right? When you say that the gangs originated from the community uplifting type organizations, is there any reason that these leaders, because they have so much influence on the people that are in their gangs, cannot revert back?
Well, here's the reality about that. If you look at the and if I'm using this word correctly, the gang diaspora in this motherfucker, if I'm using that word correctly. If you look at every organization today, there are only 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 to 5 leaders that are still around, and all of them locked up. Case in point, case in point, you talk about the organization that is known as Gangster Disciples, right? And Larry Hoover, right? Okay, he's the leader of Gangster Disciples. However y'all want to look at that shit, he don't really have no influence over them.
But there's somebody that has influence that's there somewhere, right?
Ooh, no. See, there is no.
So the gangs is kind of running rampant.
Right. Well, let me say this again. I can only speak about Chicago. So, and if my homeboy on here, maybe he can help me with the year. So there was a year, a few years, maybe 25 years ago, maybe I was still in my 20s, where the police department actively sought out the heads of the organizations. You know the old saying, if you chop off the head, the body will fall.
Yeah.
So they went and got all the leaders, and that plunged a lot of the organizations into chaos, which is what you pretty much see today.
Okay.
It ain't no real leaders out here for these organizations. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Jeff Fort got 400 years. Larry Hoover ain't never coming home. They can say that all they want. That brother ain't coming home. They might let that brother come home. So they don't have the influence that they used to have. Maybe from a historic view, but from day-to-day operations out here in these streets, these cats ain't honoring these old heads like that, because these cats out here doing it on their own. So they like, what I'm gonna honor him for? And I'm doing this. Whereas when I was coming up, we honored the old heads. We respected the old heads. I ain't never called nobody no OG. That's a West Coast shit. We honored the old head, the older guys, because that's who mentored us. That's who taught us. So we respected them. That's over with now. They don't follow laws no more. We had laws and all. They don't follow that no more. They don't respect these old heads no more. Ain't none of that. So the only way that you can really make some changes is you got to get to them on a different level. But it's hard when you out here as a 15 through 22-year-old man or woman, and you out here doing what you got to do, and then somebody come along and be like, you know what, young man, you know what, young woman, you need to slow down making those thousands of dollars and come over here and work this job for these folks that's gonna treat you like shit. These kids watched us and their grandparents, which is our parents, kiss oppressors' asses, work jobs where they didn't get paid good money for it, 30, 40 years on their job, only to get a fraction or a fourth of their fucking worth. You understand what I'm saying? And these kids out here, they got internet money. They got hustle money. So they ain't respecting us or nobody that came before us who worked up in the system when they done found ways to work against the system and win. You understand what I'm saying? If I sound like
I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah,
please forgive me if I sound like I'm all over the place.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm trying to put this together. Like there's so, like how you always say, there's so many layers. There's so many layers to this shit. You know, we got to destroy and rebuild. You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you. My mother's the first woman I ever loved. And God bless her. God knows I love that woman with everything in me. I love her. But it was always a part of me growing up that made me mad because I saw my mother work very hard for these people who didn't respect her. But my mother is such a strong woman. She fought, she got educated, she did everything that she needed to do to become a respected person in any field she stepped in. But she was still looked upon in a certain way because she was a woman and because she was Black. And so she had to work extra hard. And I always felt like my mother shouldn't have to kiss these people's asses. And that was one of the reasons why when I did get into the street, I embraced it so much because there was a freedom against this so-called system of things. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these children, they've watched us. They've watched my mother, who are their grandparents, struggle in this system. And it's like, why am I going to do what they did? I don't respect that. There's a level of disdain for us from them because they see us struggle in this system. They like, I ain't about to do that shit.
Yeah, and they'll say it if you're talking to them. And to an extent, I get it, but it's still, if you found a way, and it's the part that I don't get. If you found a way to go around the quote unquote system to get the things that you want and to bet and have a better life for yourself than the life that you saw your parents or grandparents lead, then why the hell are you so self-destructive to where you're okay with killing the next person with no regard?
That goes back to what I originally said. There lies the disconnect. There are some of these youths who are becoming entrepreneurs, finding their ways to beat the system, creating businesses, creating ideas, making money off of them, right? Then there are some of these children who don't have that access or is not creative or choose not to be in the realms to have creativity or don't have knowledge itself or don't have those avenues or choose not to have avenues based upon their experiences growing up. And so they see what they was taught, which is get out here in these streets and get it how you live. Take something, want something, take something. You understand what I'm saying? It's about the dynamic, where you come from, how you was raised, what you was exposed to. And we all come from neighborhoods. There are some of us who had good families that struggled, that taught us the right way. Then we all had them one friends who had a rough life, whose families wasn't really about shit. They were struggling. Everybody had that dirty homie. Wore the dirty clothes. Parents wasn't really on shit. 4, 5, 6 of them in the house. They sharing clothes, barely eating, all that. How you gonna tell him to be like, you know what? If you work very hard, he ain't trying to hear that shit. He needs some now shit. And that's what happens. And so when you choose to get in the game like that, part of being in the game is having to take somebody out if you feel like that's what needs to be done to do what you got to do. Them the rules of the game that they chose. It's just like if you choose to sell dope. Real cats who's really sold dope made sure they had bond money because there's a strong possibility you might go to jail. Real dudes
you gonna sit your ass there.
Huh?
Or you gonna be sitting there.
That's it. Cats who was out here robbing and doing their dirt and was gang banging, they understood it was a possibility that somebody might kill them one day. So they was prepared for that. That's what that mindset, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna be here past 21 because this is what I'm doing. They have what's the word I'm looking for? They have dedicated themselves to that. So going back to what the minister was saying, he was really speaking to what we have become and why it makes his job so hard because of what we have become. And he was calling on us to work harder because it's a daunting task, because we're basically trying to uncondition our people, uncondition each other. We're trying to unlearn and relearn our children, ourselves, because a lot of us caught up in it. So, you know, it's tough. I myself am desensitized to a lot of stuff. I get calls every day. Somebody got killed, somebody got killed, somebody got shot, somebody this back home. And I just be like, all right. I'm so desensitized because I spent my whole life with that. I've been around death my whole life. So, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But I'm desensitized to it because I'm used to it.
And see, I ain't used to it. Like, and it's so funny because I'll watch a horror movie in a second because it's not realistic death, but to actually see like realistic violence bothers me. It disturbs me. I can't watch it.
Unfortunately, it don't bother me at all. I just look at it like it ain't nothing. They showed the video of that boy, the PNB, whatever his name was, laid out. I just was looking at it like, all right, man, that's messed up.
And see, I wouldn't be able to watch nothing like that. Even though at one point I did want to, I was looking to be in the medical field, that looking at that in a different way, it doesn't bother me in that way. But like to see like actual physical violence, that shit bothers me. Like I've been in a room with a corpse before, and I was okay with watching it, but that was in the medical. I was in the actual morgue. I was, in the medical thing. But like to see somebody on the street, that would bother me. That would like, ugh.
I'm seeing it a lot. Like
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going. Go ahead, fat guy. I was going to ask a question after. Please go ahead.
Well, my question is, so who's going to answer the call?
I think the Nation of Islam does a fine job, even if they don't get the respect that they deserve. But I think that also outside of the Nation of Islam, I think we all have to answer a call in our own way. I recall us three having conversations on the show, right, about sort of kind of the same thing, just kind of the state of our people, right? And we always talk about, at the end of the day, like you said, who's going to answer the call? Where do we start? How do we do this, right? And I've made statements and saying it starts at home. It starts with us. Like, it started with my children. It started with your relatives, your nieces, your nephews, your children. It started like that. Because these days and times, we have to teach our children and our loved ones to not be so easily influenced, because that's what creates the condition. You got a kid that can turn on YouTube, turn on social media, the computer, whatever, and you seeing people getting killed every day, and it's being glorified. You're seeing hip hop. Well, it ain't hip hop, it's rap. You seeing rap videos, guys got guns, glorifying murder. The music glorifying murder. Every other word. I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna shoot this. It's like the blueprint for rap is like, I'm gonna fuck this bitch. I'm gonna buy this car. I'm gonna kill this nigga. Like that's the blueprint for rap these days. So if you constantly being fed that, you're gonna become that. You're gonna try to emulate that. And once you step into the game, it's gonna pull you in. So how can we change it? Teach our children knowledge of self. That's a start. Teach them to not be easily influenced. That's a start. Teach them the differences between this fantasy and this reality. I used to tell my kids, my sons, all the time, these rap dudes out here, I don't care if you was the biggest dope dealer gangbanger. Once you pick that microphone up, you ain't in these streets no more. Real gangsters don't rap. You don't hear from real gangsters. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I always taught my children, like, look, This is this is that. You ain't what this ain't. You don't need to do that. Like I always try to show them the difference and the end results. But I had real examples. Like I could take my children home. You know what I'm saying? Like people I came up with, I was in the streets with. They know, they talk to them, they seen them, they know what's happening. So you got to start at home. And if you somebody who has a platform, you have access to a group of people that you can influence, then you influence them and you give them other alternatives. Like I remember growing up, you know, if you go to school and you work this job, you know, that don't fly with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I always taught my children, you can go, if you want to go to school, that's what you want to do. But I want you to get your own business if that's what you want to do. Empower yourself. We have to give these children power. Teach them how to have power. Not from a gun, not from status, not from a fantasy, but from themselves. Do that make sense? Like knowledge itself?
Yeah.
Those are starts.
So I don't know why Kool-Aid, one of his things didn't come through. It's on the main, but it's not on the chat here for me to show. So when you were talking about being back in that day, he said for real, and I don't know why I wanted to spend the night at their dirty ass house.
I know what he's talking about. We was talking about how like the cats, like we was growing up, it was always like, and I hate to use the word like this, but it was always the family that didn't have as much as you might have had or have as much as the other people had. And you know what I'm saying?
So they let you do what you wanted to do when you got your ass over there.
Yeah, but it was the condition of the home. You know, the home was really broken. At the end of the day, the home was broken. That's why you was able to go over there to so-and-so house and act a fool, and they was acting a fool. And how did they turn out? You know what I'm saying? Not saying that happened to all broken homes, but you know, in those situations, that's how it turned out. We had a lot of homies that came from them households, and them cats was wilding out in the streets. They probably the penitentiary now, or they dead. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. But I think those are some starts. You know, those are some starts. It's got to be grassroots. Change have to start grassroots. Don't nobody want to see, and all respect due to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I love Minister Louis Farrakhan. I love this man. Everybody don't resonate with his message because and not saying it's wrong because he's a powerful person, they say the right thing. They do a lot in the community. But a lot of these kids don't want to hear nobody talking to them like that.
Yeah.
They'll rather hear your big homie, so to speak, say something to you, like how it used to be. You know, I heard a shorty tell me one time back in Chicago, he was like, shit, y'all ain't never gave us no advice. Y'all ain't never told us how to move. We was watching y'all. So we did what y'all did, and we feel like we're doing it better.
Oh. Dave said I sure don't.
So you know.
So the other part to that is that I really kind of hate is, even though we've had some of these people who are influencers who have discovered the way around, workaround of being able to make these funds, and they do have these things. They bought houses and accumulated things, but instead of them mentoring and teaching a few people, they want to charge you. And if you already ain't got it, why are you charging me to try to figure out what you've already found out?
That's why these so-called influencers ain't really influenced. Like I say this, I always had an issue with this, and I can't tell nobody how to use their money. But I look at how many billionaires we have in our community, and I appreciate the LeBrons of the world for making schools and all of that, right? But I always ponder if a Puff Daddy, a Jay-Z, and a LeBron James, 3 millionaires, and let's throw Kanye in there, 4 billionaires, right? If these 4 dudes invested in, let's say, 4 neighborhoods, right? And they focus their money on resources that could benefit the community, right? Whatever that falls under that umbrella, right? Imagine the change that could happen, as opposed to doing something for a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying?
Dave said he can't respect him just off his hair alone. LOL.
Talk about the medicine. So.
So my thing is this. I'm still about the give a man a fish, he eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, he eat for a
Yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't want them to take their money and put it in. I mean, yeah, take your money and put it into a resource, but the resource has to be about teaching them how to make their own
Well, okay.
and
Let
go
me be,
around, like you
okay.
said, that there's certain people who have figured out this influencer shit. And there's certain people who figured out, even let's talk about like the stocks and the trade market. It's
Mhm.
people that day trade all day. They do that in the morning. They'd have made their money for what somebody makes in a week, in a
Mhm.
day. And they figured it out. And instead of teaching somebody else how to do that, because it's so much money out here, they'd much rather charge you for it. And they don't charge you something that's reasonable that you can, oh, okay, I can come up with $50 and you show me how to do this. No, you charge me $1,000, $1,900, $2,000. I don't have it. So what do you want me to do?
Okay, let me be more specific. And Fat Goddess, this might ring a bell for you because many moons ago, you and I had this conversation, and I had brought to you an idea about a school, and I'm gonna run it down right now because she just kind of segued me to my point. Let me be more specific in what I was saying, Keely.
Mm-hmm.
If these billionaires change the school system, for example, and then this is where the idea came I told you about years ago. What if we created a school or schools that focused on your history in terms of learning, and not only that, taught you economics, taught you entrepreneurship, taught you how to trades and skills as part of a regular curriculum. So instead of you learning about the Battle of fucking Gettysburg, you're learning real world skills. You're learning mathematics that's going to show you how to prosper in this world. You're learning how to do business, entrepreneurial skills. You're learning trades. You understand what I'm saying? If we change the school system and created schools that truly taught curriculums that could help children be empowered and do things in this life. You understand what I'm saying? What if we took those billions of dollars and we invested in that? That's a change, as opposed to your child going to school and half their day they're learning about a history that doesn't even like them. You're learning history about people who don't even like you, that's not going to benefit you in life, and then the little skills that you do learn are not going to benefit you in life.
Well, those
Because ain't
schools
none of us use no calculus yet.
they just not public schools, and they're not schools that are geared in our kids' neighborhoods. But those
But
schools
that's what
do
I'm
exist.
saying. I'll go ahead with the I'm sorry.
Jackie said a lot of races encourage their kids to be doctors, lawyers, be successful. They speak life into their kids, whites, Africans, etc. But I think we lack in that area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would agree. I would agree to an extent. I'm saying, what if these billionaires invested in a different? What if we changed the school system? Kind of like Black Wall Street. Remember Black Wall Street? They created businesses for themselves. It was for us, by us.
Yeah.
What if we had people to invest in a school system, kind of like what they did with charter schools?
Yeah.
But schools that were catered toward the benefit that benefited our people. Fatherhood classes.
So certain charter schools in Atlanta,
mm-hmm.
And I can only speak about Atlanta, in Black neighborhoods are moving toward STEM programs being the main focus of things.
Okay.
And that's what they do in those particular charter schools, but they are few and far between, and they're so new that some of them are still developing as the kids are getting to 12th grade. They're just now making it to where they're getting teachers in there, because they are very strict about the programming and what teachers are there and what the curriculum is. And so like they initially may have started and only went to 6th grade, and then they are expanding, but they're so new that the kids are graduating as the school is developing. So it'll be better at some point once they're able to fully get acclimated into everything. But they have started developing those in some of the APS school systems.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Kool-Aid said, funny, all those financial classes are required courses here in South Dakota.
Imagine that.
In high
So
school. He said in high
somebody
school.
get right. So it's what I'm talking about is being implemented in certain cultures. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
So
what I'm
certain
saying. Like
cultures, certain places.
we need something for us. You know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the
It's
killing.
it's gonna take a while, but that's even when you spoke about Black Wall Street. It was tried for a couple of times over a couple of different years to revamp and restart up Black Wall Street, and it has gone nowhere as we can see because ain't no Black Wall Street, and there's no reason that it shouldn't and could not be with as many people that we have that are black with money. He said it's a red state. That's why.
Right. And it's so and just to speak on your point, Keely, that's what's even more crazy. Like we all had a conversation on this show about and I'm just using this for an example. The problems that Black women go through in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being able to go to a doctor that really gives a damn about your health as a Black woman, as opposed to the doctor that you may normally go to that may misdiagnose you, that may not have any don't give a damn about your health. You know, we need hospitals that have people that look like us, that have a vested interest in us. It's like every other culture has their own Black Wall Street, but we don't. You understand? Every state every city you go to got a Chinatown. You got Latino areas with it for them, by them, except us. And look how those children turn out. Not saying there aren't bad apples in every bunch, because there are, but the overwhelming majority of them do pretty damn good. You understand what I'm saying? They have a sense of self. We need that. That's what we need. And it starts from education. It starts from the right type of education. Because education, one thing Bill Cosby said, y'all talk about Bill, I love Bill Cosby, fuck me, I don't believe he did none of that shit. Bill Cosby used to say, education is power, but it's the right type of education.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
And that's what I was getting ready to speak on. It's not whether or not it's being taught, it's what's being taught.
Exactly.
And then is the teacher equipped to even teach what's being taught? That's just a whole different beast in itself. Me teaching in the DMV area, which means, for people that aren't familiar, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. Me teaching in that area, well, specifically in Maryland, last year was a wow moment, because you can have a general idea of what's going on with education just because of the product that comes from education. But when you are in it, elbow to elbow with teachers and these students, it's amazing, because there are so many other things. Because I taught seniors math. There are so many other things going on that school is just somewhere that they show up for a lot of them. And so it's like, you have teachers that if the students don't care, they don't care. I'm not that type of teacher. I never have been. Even before I was a formal teacher, everybody knows that I love education. I love for children to be educated. And I can proudly say, in during my time, I had students that told me that they hated math up until they had my class, and they were seniors in high school. They were like, the whole time I've been in school, I've never had a teacher that did this, or I never had a teacher that did that. So that's why I said, who's going to answer the call? Because even when you talk about teachers, you have to care outside of your home. You have to care outside of your classroom, because yeah, it starts there, but it can't stop there. And that's where we have the loophole, because people want to stop what they're doing right there in their immediate circle or their immediate family. And then that's why we have so many others that go by the wayside, because who's gonna care about them? And we just have largely adapted the whole, it ain't my problem, ain't my child, ain't my issue. Even me being back home in Indiana, it's like these teenagers are playing with these guns around here like they're water guns or BB guns, and steadily shooting at each other and trying to take each other out. How many of y'all are even still in school? And who cares that you're not, for the ones that aren't? You just walking around here haphazardly, not doing nothing, but trying to figure out the next person you can shoot at. They're not even educated on that. You don't even know how to shoot a gun. You just pulling the trigger and point your hand up in the air.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. That's why I always have my little favorite saying. It's layers to it, because it's like you don't even know how to shoot a gun, but you tough. You bad.
That's where that re-education come in. But that's why I was saying, like, we have to. There has to be a way to show the youth that there is some things more important than what they're doing. There has to be a way to show the youth to love themselves enough not to want to endanger not only themselves, but each other. The sense of hopelessness has to be removed from these children. Because when you break all this down and we get analytical, psychological, and all of that, there is a sense of hopelessness with these children. And I don't believe in hope, but for the sake of this conversation, I'm using the word hopeless and hope. So there's a lack of knowledge of self. If they have that, they will think twice about hurting each other or themselves, or putting themselves in situations that can be a detriment to their lives. They'll think about their future. They'll understand that they have more options than picking up a gun and robbing, picking up a gun and shooting, harming each other, you know what I'm saying? That knowledge itself goes a very long way. So, that's funny. He just said that. I just read
Kool-Aid said that if we started, we either embezzle or we don't put nobody on.
It's another point he just made, so it's gonna come up. But he
said the answer was in the literature that they won't follow.
Now, what he's speaking on is what I was talking about earlier when we was all in quote unquote gangs, organizations, whatever you want to call it. Back in the day, they had laws. There was rules and regulations that you follow. And a lot of those laws were basically common sense, how to be a man, how to be a woman, take care of each other, don't disrespect each other, don't kill one of your own, love yourself, love your brother, love your sister. There was the laws of these quote unquote gangs, they want to call it. You understand? We followed that to the letter. Now, it's always bad apples in a bunch. It is what it is. But a lot of us followed that. And that's why we are the way we are today. A lot of that kind of molded us into the people that we are today. And that's just the reality. Because I would be a liar if I sat here and said that some of the things I did in the streets didn't mold me to the person I am today. One of the reasons why I have a profound love for my people is because of my affiliations. Because of my affiliations in my youth. That's one of the main reasons I have a deep and profound love for Black people. Because of my affiliations. Because my old affiliation, we was Black first. And I'll leave it at that. So, we got it. A lot of, I don't know. I said what I had to say about knowledge itself. It's a tough task. It's way more daunting than us just sitting here talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it does start with knowledge itself, very much so, and removing this sense of hopelessness, this feeling that you're not going to make it, this feeling that you're in those people's world and you're never going to win, so you're just going to live fast and die hard and get it how you live until your end comes. That mentality must be removed from our people and our youth, because that's how they live. It's live fast, die hard. And I ain't gonna lie to you, even at our worst in the streets, we was like, man, I ain't trying to die around this motherfucker. I got us fucked up. I always knew it was more. Like I knew we weren't going to be gangbangers forever. I knew we weren't going to be selling drugs forever. Like I knew that we were going to get older. Even though it was some days we was in some situations where we was like, I don't know, dog, we might not make it. But we always, found a way. Like, I mean, that I just quiet as kept. Not quiet as kept because I'm on a damn podcast, but that man saved my life. Kool-Aid saved my life.
Good.
Yeah. That's another story for another time. But that man saved my life because I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk at the time. We got ourselves into a real tough situation, and I had got shot, and I was still acting a damn fool, and we was out here doing goofy shit, and that man saved my life. Real talk. And and it was.
We glad you're here.
Huh?
We glad you're here.
Me too, but I'm saying that to say a lot of the relationships, they came from that organization, but they were deeper than that.
Yeah.
And we have to reinstill those feelings with each other. We have to greet each other with love. We have to show love, even when it's not reciprocated. We have to keep pushing love, keep pushing knowledge of self, keep giving these affirmations, keep showing these children there are different ways. We ain't going to be able to reach everybody, but they say each one teach one.
Yeah.
So,
And then one day you might happen up on the right one that'll teach 10.
That's true. Malcolm X, look, where did Malcolm X come from? He was a product of his experience and his teaching and exposure. The same as Malcolm, the same as Garvey. You know what I'm saying? Your Sojourner Truths of the world. Your Harriet Tubmans, they were products of their experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so it's always an answer and it's a way, it's a way. But even though I'm desensitized to a lot of stuff, it still bothers me. Like I can see it and it don't bother me, but in my mind, as a man, as a father, as somebody's son, it bothers me. It bothers me.
It bothers me. I can't.
But I can look at it and like the visual of it doesn't bother me because I'm desensitized, but mentally,
it
weighs on me.
Different. Yeah,
man,
a little heavy.
Right, like these cats was at the gay club in Chicago or something. Cat snapped out, ran 3 of them over. I'm talking about the video was ridiculous, and I watched this video like 10 times. You know what I'm saying? It was horrible what happened to them. 5 people just got shot. I think it was Washington Park not too long, a couple of days ago. Like back home, like people just died, man, for no reason. People getting carjacked. It's bad, but they have this mindset like they have to have things. You watching these dudes on TV and they glorifying these guns. Them dudes going home to their $1 million houses while you going to your mama's apartment. You understand what I'm saying? It's like Cardi B, you got a wet ass pussy. You talking about robbing these dudes in the hotel, but you going home to your husband and your fucking kids. You understand what I'm saying? But these girls out here trying to be like you. You got these other rappers out here talking about they killing 50 dudes in the first 16 bars, and they going home sipping mimosas or whatever the fuck they be drinking with their little homies. But you out here in the streets. We got to do better. It's all part of conditioning. I encourage people to pull up a video called Little Albert. It's about conditioning the mind.
Called what?
Look this video. It's called Little Albert.
Okay.
And it comes from psychology classes, and it teaches you about how people can be easily conditioned. It's basically they take this little baby and they sit him in a room and they put snakes in front of him, dogs, cats, and all of that. He's unbothered by all of this. But then one day they put the dog in front of him and they hit this bell and it makes this horrible sound. And the sound makes him cry. He immediately associated the sound with the animal. So every time they brought the animal, he became afraid. They created fear. That's what conditioning is. And fear is just false evidence appearing real. Fear. But that's metaphysics. That's another conversation. But we have to change the mindset. We have to. And it's going to be a daunting task, but it can be done. The same way they condition them to listen to this rap music and act crazy, the same way they can be reconditioned to do positive things. Because there's rappers out here that speak on a lot of positive stuff too, but they don't get the airplay like Lil Ray Ray and Phonem. You know what I'm saying? So,
They sure don't. I can tell you that now.
Right. That's funny as hell. He right. I'm laughing about it. It's true though. It's true. I can I'll see the comments before they come up.
He said talking about Pyum Pyum and going home to them $1 million mansions and still getting robbed.
Like I said, half these rap niggas ain't gangsters. At the end of the day, half these rap dudes ain't gangsters. That's real. I knew a rap group that was some real gangsters. They ain't never get no airplay. They was called Psychodrama. They ain't never get no airplay because they was some straight up gangsters. But that's another conversation. But all these tough dudes you see with these guns in their hand, they keep getting laid down around you. And then some of the rappers from my city, some of them little guys, the Lil Durks, the King Von, rest in peace. These little guys was out here, they was gang banging, then they had a chance to leave it alone, and they brought the street life to the music, and then it started getting confused, and cats were still trying to be in the streets, and now you ain't here no more.
Well, part of that comes from trying not to leave somebody behind,
man.
That you may want to bring with you. They're still trying to do other things, and they don't want what you're trying to move on to. You see that a lot too.
This is true. Your own homies will kill you too.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got. Do y'all got anything else?
People need to answer the call because that's what's being repeated as well from 2007 to now.
Yeah, that was the point the minister was trying to make. He was just saying it's hard for me to advocate for you if you out here killing each other. I need more of y'all to be advocates and not killers and victims. That was his major point. Like, I need more of you to stand with me or stand on the side of righteousness and knowledge of self. That's what he was really trying to say. So that's what we need, and we're speaking specifically to our community because we are part of our community. And so, whoever watching, the people that's watching, find something that you can do on a daily basis, through maybe your platform or your job or your hobby or whatever that is that can help somebody or reach somebody, even if it's your niece, your nephew, your child, some kid on the street that whatever. It started with you because they'll remember them 2-3 good things you did and it can change their life. Knowledge of self is very important.
Well, I know for me, the start for me is when I talk to my boys' friends, all young men, some young women, when they come over and I hear them talking about stuff, I listen to their conversations and then we'll have a conversation to try to change some of these mindsets. Because some of the stuff they say, I'd be like, are you serious? Is this what y'all think? Is this how things are going in y'all life? Like, come on. So, we have discussions about politics. We have discussions about, and it's so troubling to hear like their lack of knowledge of how politics works. But again, I try to, for the few that I see, we talk. And then every once in a while they'll say, well, I was talking to some of my friends about what we were talking about the other day. And I'm like, okay, it spread a little bit.
Yeah, they be talking to each other.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times it comes off better from them hearing it from somebody else. I just want to give you the best possible answer or at least somewhere to start from so y'all can start a conversation. Because right now, some of these conversations y'all talk about, I don't get, but I try to maneuver it to something else and see and give them a little something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yep. Well, that's me answering the call. I don't know. I got to do more, venture out a little bit more, but this pandemic,
I answer the call all the time.
In the house.
All the time with the youth. I'm always in somebody's face and in somebody's business.
Are they receptive to you being in their face and in their business?
Very much so.
You sure?
Very much so.
And I'm only saying that because when you say it, you're facing your business with these young kids, they be a little, man, if she don't get look on with that, coming at me sideways.
It don't matter. They
It
also
do.
they also come to my call.
Oh Lord.
Now, usually it's they teach me, you know, they teach me what their narrative is. And then I kind of try to usher in and provoke thought from different vantage points. Because you do have to speak their language to even open up dialogue. Because, like you said, they will reject you.
Yeah.
I went into the I'm using the example of me teaching again. I went in there with a very old school mentality because I had never been a teacher. And so I'm thinking about how the classroom was for my last time being familiar with how a classroom is, especially with teenagers that are seniors. So I didn't know that the culture had changed so much so that students just be in a classroom with their phones, whether they listen to music, watching a video, watching a movie. That's just something that is allowed now. So I went in the classroom like, put your phones down. And they was like, where you say you come from? So like our first 2 weeks was rough until I learned, their love language. And I learned how their culture is now, how their environment is now. And then after that, I had students stopping in my class. I didn't even know they knew me. Like, Ms. Riley, can I sit in here? You know what I'm saying? So that was it's to me it's rewarding to answer the call, because if you can just touch one person, one child, one student, one adult, whatever, that's the greatest reward for me, because everybody that know me know I'm about my people, good, bad, indifferent, don't care. So when you can reach somebody or teach somebody, that's a wonderful thing, because you were instrumental in them thinking differently and then following that with different actions.
Well, just my last little point to piggyback off some of that was, when you speak in their language, it's very important to remember that you were them. And the only difference between them and them now and us then is the internet and social media. Like, that's the only difference. So we had to remember that we were 16, 17, 18 once. Because I think a lot of people, especially parents, they forget who they were when they become parents, because they're dealing with the realities of the world. And so they forget that they were teenagers at one point in time. And I think one of the greatest things that I think I did was not forget that at one time I was a teenage boy. So when I talk to my children, when I talk to other children, I talk to them from that perspective, like their mindset, like, because as parents, we forget, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in the world.
We act like we ain't never did that.
Right.
Shit.
You'll be thinking about, like, because the little stuff your children thinking about, you're like, man, that's some bullshit. But no, that thing we think some bullshit, that's some real life-changing shit to them. And so we can't forget that we were them. And that's the best way to relate. And it's the best way for us to be relatable and understandable. And that brings those children in, because it's like, oh, okay, they do understand. They went through that. Like, I was talking to a friend a while back about their child, and they had concerns about the route that their child was going. The child was getting older. And I said, it's very important that you let them know about certain things you did as a teenager, because that lets the child know, well, damn, okay, well, mom isn't just mom, dad isn't just dad. Like, they had wet willies and everything. But, they had lumps in the Levi's, and, they did stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And it makes the child understand. Because I know when I was growing up, I didn't look at my mom. I didn't begin to look at my mother as a woman until I got older. She was just mom. So I never correlated that she was a woman that had thoughts, feelings, desires, wants, and needs until I got older and became more mature. But my mom was very focused on raising us a certain way. So there were times that we may not have seen the other side of her, but she let us know it in her own way. But as I got older, that's when I was like, yo, my mom a woman too. Like she, you know what I'm saying? She got thoughts and feelings and shit. You know what I'm saying? When I was a short, he was like, look here, Denise ain't bullshit. She gonna whip my ass. Like, she don't understand me. But she really did. You know,
yeah, I used to
more
tell
than I
mine.
realized.
I used to be
You know,
like, listen, if you need to talk to me about some stuff where you don't need me in mama mode, I need you to tell me you need me to not be in mama mode right now, because I'm gonna come at you with the mama. If you come at me first, you need to go on and put me in the mindset. Let me switch up.
Right, like take me there. My mom used to whip my ass, goddamn. You get your ass. What you say, motherfucker? But as we got older, like I got it. Like she was, I understood her more, and I started seeing her differently. So I'm just saying, like, we have to remember, as parents, as mentors, as aunties, as uncles, as cousins, as big homies, all of that. Like, don't forget the person that you're trying to assist. Understand their mindset, because that's the first step in getting to be on the same page and facilitating that change. That's all.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, so it's time for I love you, but if you have
I have one.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions, please send that to the Fat Goddess, and that is FACKT Goddess at gmail.com. It will also be in the
You gotta
description.
raise your voice on the T.
FACKT.
There you go.
Goddess at gmail.com. And it will also, like I said, be in the description below. Go ahead, ma'am.
So actually, the soul snatching goddess had a suggestion for me because she was sick of me not having no I love you, but it's a great one. Is this somebody that you are friends with on social media?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because I didn't want to quote it if I was gonna change some things. If it was somebody that you were cool with. But anyway, I'm still not gonna quote it because I never know who's watching.
Quote it.
But in essence, the conversation was talking about martial arts, and the comment was made, well, I doubt that they're ligament black belts. I doubt that they're ligament black belts.
What? Are they trying to say legitimate?
Yeah.
The fuck? Ligament black belt.
So a ligament is a noun. It is spelled Ligament, and it is a tough. She said, "Huh?" It is a tough, fibrous band of tissue connecting the articular extremities of bones or supporting an organ in place. It could be a connecting or unifying bond, the law of nations, the great ligament of mankind. So it's a connector. It's a bonder or binder, however you want to say it. That's what ligament is.
Ligament.
So what they meant to say is, I doubt if they're legitimate black belts. Now, legitimate is spelled Legitime, and it has several meanings. It can be an adjective or it can be a verb. So the definition falls under it being an adjective, and it is being exactly as intended or presented. Neither, I'm not sure how you pronounce this word, spurious, Spurious, nor
spurious.
false.
Spurious.
Is what?
Spurious, you're right.
Spurious. So being an actual example of something that's specified. That's what they meant to use was legitimate. So I love you, but for the love of God, do not confuse ligament, which is a band of tissues connecting extremities of the bones, with legitimate, something that is an actual example of something that's specified.
I think this was a ligament conversation on the state of our youth.
It sure was.
I'm a ligament brother. That dinner was ligament.
Yes.
Ligament. Wow. I think y'all need to tell us who said that. That ain't the same person with the text messages.
No.
They sound like, our ligament want to get with you, right? Because I have hypothesized in my mind
that you gonna get this mushroom tip.
The plethora of things that I would like to do.
Man, when I read that, I said, "Are you serious?" Like those are LIGAMENT, LEGITIMATE. It's not even the same spelling.
That sounds like Damon Wayans' prison character in that little.
That's exactly who I was thinking about. We must dogmatize the plethora of problems that we have pontificated within the Black community as we facilitate our thoughts
and masturbate on the pontificate of the ligaments surrounding our environment.
I must ejaculate my thoughts for the world to understand.
Yes. Preach, my brother, preach.
So people, just be cognizant of the words that you use and their meanings.
I think y'all,
and sometimes it be that that autocorrect get you a little bit too, because
I don't got no excuse no more. You go to look over your stuff before you said it.
Look. Because ligament was spelled correctly.
No.
Autocorrect is no longer excuse. You're supposed to proofread your shit before you send it. And I think I love you, but should be done on women and women. Because if one more motherfucker say they are strong Black women in this motherfucker, I'm going to show you a strong Black man and put the goo hand on your motherfucking ass. And there's going to be a ligament ass whooping. Ass whooping.
Women's with the S.
Oh my God, I'm a strong Black woman. You plural now, motherfucker? Well, I know we got this non-binary shit going on, but now we on some plural shit too? God damn.
Because they every woman.
They do that with men too. Men.
I hate that.
They every woman.
Strong Black women's. God.
They every woman. They got to be plural.
No,
I haven't seen that. I want to see somebody say that.
I see it every day.
That is crazy.
You better know how to treat a strong Black woman. Damn, how many? So we on this podcast. I'm a strong Black woman. You don't treat me like this. I need to go find me a good men's. What's polish it? All right. I ain't on no polish it.
Men to go with the women's that they is.
Oh, Lord, I can't.
Each one teach one. That's what I'm here for. Each one.
Just need to have a ligament conversation about grammar.
It was the best.
That was a good one, though.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, my. Yolanda, we're glad you finally made it onto a live one. She's been watching a lot of the old ones, and she wanted to make sure she made it to a live one. So
Yolanda Adams?
Yolanda Rogers.
Well, thank you.
I'm thinking about that Yolanda Adams. I'm sorry.
We say, yay.
We appreciate you.
Then Dave and Cole are at the precipice of about to have their little bundle of joy soon. So
congratulations in advance.
Welcoming the little baby soon.
Yeah. Have some suitcases on. Have some luggage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Them bags about to go from 1 to 15. You gotta carry all the baby stuff.
So
before you rush off to the hospital, make sure that them what do they have?
Oh wait, not anymore. What that mean? She gave birth?
She here?
Baby here?
You had the baby already?
Type fast, dude.
Oh, he was. Yo, that's what's up.
Saturday.
That's what's up. Hey, oh, for the home birth, brother. In the words of Dave, what's dude's name? Damon Wayans, we are so happy that you have decided to pontificate and ejaculate a great youth into the world. And we pray astute galactical blessings upon your creation.
Because one fish, two fish,
Now, I'm
red
speaking
fish,
English
blue
and
fish,
just saying English.
knick-knack, paddywhack.
Congratulations on the young god or goddess. I don't know which one you had. If it was a boy or girl.
He said he was born Saturday.
Oh, he was born. He showed us. So we congratulate you on the young god, my brother. You are now immortal.
Now, do we need to cover he and she with you?
Oh,
what happened? I didn't hear that. What happened?
I said, do we need to cover he and she with you?
No, I done had enough of that non-binary goof ass shit. I'm cool. How the hell you don't know what you is? Got a rooster hanging down between your legs, or got a monkey down there talking. I'm not sure if I'm right or not. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm something that you never understand. Don't mean that you. I never lie.
Oh, it's Kingsley.
Oh, that's a young king, Kingsley. I was on the right track. Dig that.
Yolanda said that's a whole different show. Thank you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How about that man? Listen, everybody want to be Pat. Everybody want to be Pat. Everybody want to be Pat. Remember Pat?
No, we're not doing that. No, not doing that. Our hearts and minds clear.
What about Pat?
Yes.
No, period. With a
period.
T. She said that said the T.
Period. Period. No.
You know what? I would kick that girl in her chest. I hate her. And
the moment I saw it, I knew she was going viral. Because you have real true singers that are singing with her. And I'm like, this is a waste of time.
She need to be kicked in her chest.
Even Chloe did something. Can you concentrate on being a mermaid and not being That's
Chloe the mermaid.
I'm glad you said
Who's
that.
the mermaid?
Haley.
Let me say this.
Chloe.
Before our hearts and minds be clear.
That's her sister though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before our hearts and minds be clear, let me say this. And this might be very unpopular, but I really don't give a damn. Black people in general, if y'all don't stop trying to argue with these folks who argue with you about the mermaid being black and Wakanda and all this shit, black people, every piece of sense of pride y'all got is coming from a movie or fantasy. Let's have some sense of pride in real life. Fuck all that arguing. Just live life. Focus on yourself. Focus on knowledge yourself. Focus on your people. All this damn arguing back and forth because the Disney character black, you argue with the white folk because they mad. Let them punks be mad. Wasting y'all time with this goof ass shit. Put memes up and all that. Man, we got bigger fish to fry than that goof ass shit. That's it. That's all. God bless you. Shit crazy. Arguing about the little fucking mermaid.
And he meant every bit of that.
He was he put his face up in the screen and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like we find the dumbest shit to argue about. One last thing. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me say this. I'm sorry. I gotta say this because this is on my mind. A friend of mine that I love very dearly, I went to school with, does journalist work. I'm gonna leave it at that. And they did some journalist work regarding the R. Kelly trial, right? And they were saying a whole bunch of stuff about R. Kelly and all that. And so I'm gonna say what I said before on the show we did before. I have a real problem with our people that have this vigor to talk about each other and to down each other, right or wrong or indifferent, right? But we don't never have that same energy for them other folk that be doing fucked up shit too. Because don't nobody be talking about them Weinsteins and the freak motherfucker that had the island with the Pizzagate and was fucking on the kids and shit. But everybody want to talk about R. Kelly. I'm not saying R. Kelly wrong as hell, pissing on them kids. I
apologize for all the swearing.
He wrong. He was wrong, pissing on the kids. I got my own opinion about it, but he was wrong for it. Okay, fine. But if we gonna go hard on Kels, we need to go hard on all these pedophiles. Don't be selective. And it really is disheartening when our people have this vigor to go against our own. I think the brother need to be re-educated and punished. But talk about them others like you talk about that brother. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's because a lot of people expect us to be better and do better.
Yeah, but when we have this, they just been going hard on dude. Not saying he don't deserve it, but if you're gonna report on things like that, report on all of it. Because when they was talking about Jeffrey Epstein and all them, I wasn't hearing no black people saying nothing. But when it's us, we had this crab mentality. We just attack. Do it for everybody. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. Attack them all because they all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. Gotham City for the better.
I probably wouldn't talk about the others either because I mean that's.
I would go, man. Listen, I've been like all
put
of them.
Put their ass on blast.
That's right, all of them. All of them. But when it comes to us, we go hard.
Everybody, let's add this out. Everybody.
Even though OJ ain't one of us, they went hard on OJ. Y'all didn't go hard on Dahmer.
Who?
Jeff Dahmer.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Well, OJ should stay swayed this way.
And again, are all hearts and minds clear?
Yes, Lord. Little people hit my email. Y'all see it.
All right. He's a bootyologist, y'all. Okay, that concludes our show for the evening. Thank you all for joining us as we do our best to give you the content that you deserve. Feel free to keep the conversation going below in the comments. We do look forward to reading them and we respond. Again, thank you for watching. If you have not, make sure to thumbs up this video. Like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe. Click or bang that notification bell so that you are made aware when we have new episodes. We will see you next Monday, same bat station, same bat time on Goddess Ships because every ship matters.
All ships aren't the same.
Answer the call because life is lived on ships.
The Seattle Mariners are now my new team. Thank you, Kool-Aid. I'll be getting the hat very soon.
All right. Bam. Peace.